Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. Today we're going to be going for an interesting Tryndamere build. We're going essentially for Galeforce, so Scout, Round End, Shuffle Me back in your deck, and we're pairing that with Echoing Spirit, so we can try to pull out our Tryndamere more likely with our Call to Arms, and then we get the Scout attack off with him, ton of damage, and then when he's done, he gets shuffled back in our deck, so we can try to pull him out again, or he just gets some more scaling. Now, I think since we have him at 6 stars, and when we play our Call to Arms, we're getting a Rally, will be pretty good, so that Tryndamere will always be able to attack. If you don't have him at 6 stars, then it could be a little bit worse, because you could potentially pull him out on turns where you don't have the attack token, so that could be a little bit worse for you. And having Tryndamere on your board can actually be quite nice, so you can keep getting a solid blocker, but this should be pretty fun. We're pairing it with Starforge just so we have a little bit of extra mana to play with, but you could swap this out for like a stack deck, Black Shield, I mean even Beast Within, a lot of other solid relics you could pair it instead of this one if you wanted. But let's go ahead and grab this here, and I think we'll play it against the Viego Nightmare just as a good solid adventure to try this into. All right, let's see here. What can we get for our first power? Feral Senses is quite good. It kind of guarantees we know we're going to pull out, so sure, let's go for that one. And let's go for a Spiderling. Let's get rid of both of our Tryndameres. We kind of don't want to have any Tryndamere in our opening hand. We want them all to be in our deck. Of course, we immediately just get them back. All right, so we don't have the mana to play our Call to Arms immediately. I think let's just drop a Poro. Sure, let's look here, and let's actually not look for our Tryndamere, because we don't want to pull him out next time. So let's make sure we get something else. Do we want to play Hearthguard? Probably going to be too expensive. Let's grab the Poro. I think we'll just bank the mana, but let's attack like this, just so that we're able to scale up our deck a little bit from our second star power. So hopefully they don't open attack here. All right, nice. Let's go for our Predict. We see Tryndamere, great. Now we'll go to a Call to Arms. We'll put a Tryndamere back in our deck. We then pull him out and can attack, get some really solid damage down. Sure, let's get our Scout attack. So we can just attack like this. And let's drop this guy right here. All right, looks pretty good. They'll probably be able to block with that Vile Maw. So this unit will probably die. Oh, well, let's go for it. Yeah, not quite ending, but some good damage. Now Volibear is gonna go away. I think let's go ahead. We don't see him anywhere, so I think let's go ahead and skip. Let's try to attack like this, just again to scale up our units. And we know we're going to get our attack token back when we use our Call to Arms. So let's shuffle another Tryndamere back in. Perfect. We're able to get him again. And so we can attack. And GG. All right, first match, it was solid, a little slow. Not sure it's necessarily too much better than other builds, but definitely interesting. Interesting if you want to do a Galeforce build. Trifarian, this one is a little bit mixed. Like, that's a solid unit for a 4 cost, but adding other units to our deck reduces the odds we're going to get our Tryndamere, which is a little bad, but it is kind of better than the others here. I think we'll potentially try to go for Avalanche. Again, we're really just trying to focus on our Tryndamere as much as possible. We're kind of picking a worse card just to increase our odds, or not reduce our odds is a better way of putting it, of getting our Tryndamere. Elder Dragon's kind of funny. Pulling him out would be hilarious. I think we're probably going to go there. Horror King, getting him for free. Yeah, pulling out Elder Dragon I think would be a lot of fun. So let's actually go ahead and try to go here. Chamber of Renewal, Shop. Getting our Tryndamere Spell Shield could be solid. Sure, we haven't gotten Mist Wraith in a while. Let's go ahead and try this out. Let's put both these in our deck. We only want to get them out with our Call to Arms. All right, let's see here. So we can go ahead and predict. Let's, I think, go for the Egghead Researcher, just so this is something we can draw, so it's getting a unit out of deck in our next attack. And sure, we can drop it right here. Yeah, we can bank the mana. This will be fine. We'll just go ahead and get some small damage down, but the bigger thing is the scaling. Let's go ahead and do a predict. Tryndamere, nice. Let's go to our call to arms. We'll put Elder Dragon back in our deck. We get that rally. Here's our scout attack. Again, pretty good amount of damage. Do we want to go for Hearthguard? Yeah, these are two big units. They both have Overwhelm. Since we have the 6-star, we have the double stats. Blocking with Tryndamere, always good. Let's, block with some of these here. All right, that should be GG. So that was much better. Soul Gorger, Disgraced, Revitalizing Roar. Pick a unit in hand to reveal. Heal your Nexus equal to its power. Reduce its cost to 0. Again, units, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. We're trying to get as much focus on our Tryndamere, so I think we'll go for the Revitalizing Roar. Gives us some sustain, even though it's not necessarily the best. Here, let's give him Spell Shield. And we want to go for the shop. An Ardent Guard is interesting for us. Sure. Let's get rid of Elder Dragon, and we can hold on to the rest. Let's go for a predict here. Let's do the Revitalizing Roar. We want to have as many Tryndameres in our deck as possible. I think going for a Egghead Researcher could be decent. They don't have enough for their single combat. Let's drop one Poro here. So we'll let this one attack. Again, just trying to get a little bit more scaling for everything in our deck. The game shouldn't go on too much so that it really matters, but still a good habit to do. Alright, here we'll grab our Tryndamere, go for our call to arms, throw another Tryndamere in our deck. We got our attack. Let's go ahead and go right here. Alright, solid damage. Fine to block with Tryndamere. I wouldn't mind holding on enough for our single combat, although we don't have quite enough to end. If our Tryndamere did have enough to end, we would definitely go for or hold on to single combat, because then we could use this to kill whatever's trying to block him, which would just guarantee we got that damage through. Since we don't have that damage, though, I think let's go for a Mighty Poro.
Death itself can't stop me.
All right, let's go ahead and attack like this. Yeah, not quite enough damage, but pretty good. All right, I think let's immediately attack. And then if we need to rally with our call to arms, we can.
Like my blade?
So we will Frostbite this and then do a single combat. And GG. All right, let's see here. Ultra Soft Poro on guard. Sun Blessed Vigor. Kind of don't care about any of these, to be honest. I think we'll go for the On Guard just to get, again, another spell. We're trying not to get too many units for this build. So even though there's some things here that are solid, we're mostly just looking for a power. Not really the best. Let's try a reroll. Spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. I don't think we do almost any. Like, it would make our Avalanche marginally better. I think let's try one more. Play a spell, deal 1 TM Nexus. I mean, we're playing a couple spells, so to give us a little bit of extra damage. Could be the difference between winning and ending, though. We could cut the Revitalizing Roar. Not bad, because we're probably never going to play it. Yeah, so while it wouldn't be bad to cut some units from our deck, we're probably never playing this, so sure, we can get rid of it. And let's go for Fiora. For powers, we'd really like something that just gives us a little bit of cost reduction for our call to arms. We could play it turn 1. If we could do that, that'd be a massive improvement. Let's get rid of both the Tryndameres. Again, we want as many copies of Tryndamere in our deck so we have the highest chance of drawing him. When I'm summoned, reduce the cost of all allied units in hand by 1. This unit would give us a little bit more. Well, suppose we could drop this here. Sure, let's give it tough.
I'm actually here.
And we can drop the Egghead Researcher.
I just may have an answer.
Do have a lot of cards. Let's grab the Hunting Boar, make sure he's on top. We can attack like this.
I won't back down. What could have been?
A symbol worth fighting for.
All right, so right here, let's use our Predict. Elder Dragon is interesting. Could be kind of funny to play him or get him on the board. Although he does have a play effect, and this is a summon effect, so he would be a little bit weaker. Sure, let's still go for our Tryndamere. Go for a Call to Arms, put a Tryndamere back in our deck.
Join me in
We get here, get him right here. Let's go for our Scout Attack. We could get another Sorin, or we can go for On Guard to make sure he gets the right targets. Sure, let's go ahead and drop this here so we can get smaller units in order to get more damage down.
My blade calls.
Do we care about their Fiora? I suppose we can go ahead and kill her. Since we can't end this round anyways, this will be fine.
I'm not done. Not the best you got.
Alright, that is totally fine. Again, Tryndamere is going to get, well, kicked back into the deck.
I'll follow
Do we want to just immediately attack? We want to make sure we have enough for the Call to Arms. Sure, let's attack before they have any blockers. Now we can Predict. Tryndamere, perfect. Go ahead and use another Call to Arms.
Join me in battle.
And GG. I can't take damage or die. Sure, I mean, him dying isn't really a problem. Like, it's kind of fine, but I think it is also a little bit funny. So sure, he's pretty much, unless he gets recalled, unkillable. Let's go for a power here. We'd love like Sorcery or Wild Inspiration, because that should make it a 4 cost. Now, Trifarian would also be quite good, but Wild Inspiration will should let us play it round 1. Let's go for the item chest. Let's go for a Stalker. Let's get rid of Tryndamere. Hold on to the rest. All right, so we have 4 mana, and our Call to Arms is also 4 mana. Let's go ahead and do our Predict. Sure, let's do one where we pull out Elder Dragon. Let's go for a Call to Arms. We are overriding our attack token, but a turn 1 Elder Dragon is kind of worth it. So there goes just 30 of their health. Pretty solid. Now, he didn't get all of his Dragon Boons because it is a summon effect, not a play effect. Right here, we see Tryndamere. Perfect. Throw this Tryndamere back in our deck.
Join me in battle. To battle.
And the Elder Dragon is leveling. Oh, perfect. GG. More copies of Elder Dragon is kind of funny, but it's also giving us another play effect, which means that when we pull him out, it's actually not going to work at all. These are all units, which isn't necessarily the best. You play elemental spell or skill copy with the same targets. I don't think our Call to Arms is technically elemental, right? No. 2 play effects. I think let's actually try to do a reroll here. Sure, let's go for the Elixir of Iron. That is fine. Item chest, let's see what we can get. Sure. Shop, don't think we want any of those. Hold it, that wouldn't be terrible. Champion Knight will probably go there. Yeah, essentially getting rid of a blocker, that's fine with us. Let's go up here, so Swiftwing. All right, let's get rid of Tryndamere, but holding on to all the rest is fine. It's more units that are in our hand, not our deck, so we have a higher chance of pulling out Tryndamere. All right, so let's immediately... Okay, we don't see Tryndamere here, so we'll skip. That could be a little scary. Let's go ahead and try to play this, see what we get. All right, still able to pull out Tryndamere. Fantastic. So that is solid amount of damage down. All right, let's go again. Elder Dragon this time. I guess he would level, so there is that. At least I think he would level. Oh my word. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. Alright, decent amount of damage. At least he is not going to get recalled. Alright, so we can just attack like this. Now it'll be leveled. And yeah, that'll be GG. Let's actually go for the Sorin, and then I think we'll cut it just to, again, try to reduce down the chances we can get anything other than Tryndamere. Let's go for the Gigaphage, gaining a bunch more stats. That'll be very good, especially when our stats are doubled. We'll cut this. Solid card, but we're not really playing anything other than Tryndamere. Let's go for Viego. All right, this is fine. Bunch of units that are not Tryndamere.
I hope you're excited to die too.
Sure, let's go ahead and attack. That can give us a little bit of scaling. We're about to kind of override the attack token anyways. All right, so Tryndamere. We will pull him out here.
Join me in battle. This'll be a slaughter.
We don't really want any of our units to die, actually. All right, not too bad. All right, let's try to go again. We don't see Tryndamere, so we'll have to skip. So let's see what we're able to get here. All right, again, pulling him out. Since we've been not adding any other units to our deck pretty much this whole time, and we've been cutting as many units as we can pretty much, pretty good. Yeah, we have the highest odds of getting our Tryndamere. I think let's drop our Elixir of Iron just to give us a little bit more damage. Because, yeah, these are doing quite a lot for us. Honestly, we might be able to end the game just with these. We could, so let's just go ahead and attack. GG. All right, that was pretty good. Now, do bear in mind, we kind of had a perfect storm. We had Wild Inspiration, so that at the end there, we could play our Call to Arms turn 1. So that gave us a lot of extra damage. Also, we had the Feral Senses to give us a much higher likelihood we were going to pull out our Tryndamere. So this did work out decently well. But without the Feral Senses, your reliability of pulling them out is going to go down a good amount. But yeah, it is a fun strategy. I myself don't really like Galeforce that much anymore now that it sends it back to your deck. But Tryndamere is probably one of the best that can still utilize it. So if you're wanting another fun Galeforce build, definitely one to check out. Hope you enjoyed the video though. If you did, like and subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great rest of your day.